Hello everyone, this is Beyond the Credits.
Coming up on UCF Nightly News, find out what new changes are on the horizon for a number of colleges on UCF's campus.
Plus, see why one UCF student is resorting to loans despite the rise in interest rates.
And see how researchers on campus are working to address the flu epidemic.
In sports, see what's in store for the UCF football team with the NFL draft coming up.
Nightly News starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to Nightly News. I'm Christina Diaz.
And I'm Jimmy Calhoun. Today is Friday, January 26, 2018. The provost of UCF is here on campus to talk about changes coming to the university. Reporter Anna Johnson is live at the Mortgage International Reading Center with more on the story. Anna, tell us what's going on out there.
We're live here outside where a celebratory meeting just happened to discuss the provost's new plans for UCF. The provost announced on Tuesday that 2 new colleges will be made and 1 new interdisciplinary school. They went to celebrate it here. I'll tell you more about what happened at the event now. The Mortgage International Reading Center was full of people who came to hear about UCF's new program restructuring. Provost Dale Whitaker asked the audience to think about how the update will provide the universal student experience. Speakers from some of the programs talked about how the changes mean new opportunities. Some also talked about challenges like new administrative roles and financing. Whitaker says there are committee meetings planned to solidify everything leading up to July 2nd. One of the big things that they stressed about these 2 new campuses in downtown and in Lake Nona is integration. The students in the downtown campus will use the city as their classroom, and in Lake Nona, they'll all integrate together to learn about new things. Reporting live in Orlando, Anna Johnson, UCF Nightly News.
Thanks, Anna. Yesterday, UCF PD released a sketch of the man accused of touching multiple women on campus. The sketch release follows an incident Monday where the man attempts to touch another woman's leg. As a result, UCF PD received 2 additional reports with similar behavior that occurred last year. UCF PD is aggressively investigating this case. They want the community to remain alert and speak up if they have any information.
2017's rise in student loan rates have students feeling a heavy weight on their shoulders. Now, some UCF students worry they could be thousands more in debt. Nightly News reporter Jane Kim tells us how students are dealing with this change.
And I had to medically withdraw from all my classes.
UCF biomed student Anna So took on 40-hour work weeks last semester to pay for her classes out of pocket. Taking out loans were not in the cards for Anna, so this resulted in putting her bills before her health.
Last semester was my first semester pushing like 40 hours of work a week while taking 13 credit hours. And I got hospitalized multiple times for being dehydrated and not sleeping enough.
Anna chose to pull out loans this semester, but noticed a change in her financial aid account.
They haven't been giving out grants. I have to pull out more loans.
And more loans means more interest. But the director of UCF Finance Department, Professor Paul Gregg, says loans aren't scary if you know how to handle them.
You really want to make sure you only borrow as much money as you need. I tell students that they need to target the amount that they borrow to make sure it does not exceed about half of their starting salaries.
Students often overlook this advice and take more than what's needed.
And I have a lot of friends that don't really need the loans but just keep pulling them because they think it's free money.
To avoid this problem, Associate Director of Student Financial Assistance, Karima Mansell, says help is right on campus.
Sensible Nights is our financial literacy program here at UCF, and we strive to provide students with the resources and tools needed to be financially well.
Mansell says if students only borrow what's needed, loan debt can be seen as a positive investment. Reporting in Orlando, Jane Kim, UCF Nightly News.
The financial advisors say to learn about loans before diving into them. They stress that although it may seem like free money now, pulling out more than necessary will take a toll later on.
Flu outbreaks have increased both in Florida and across the nation. Researchers at the Burnett School of Biomedical Sciences are pushing for a solution. Nightly News reporter Natalia Hernandez tells us how a new vaccine can prevent students from the illness.
The Florida Health Department released last week's flu statistics. It states there have been more outbreaks recorded than previous seasons. UCF student Susana Giraldo recently recovered from the flu.
So I felt really tired the whole time. I had really bad headaches, sore throat, stuffy nose.
Giraldo is one of the thousands of people who have been infected by the virus here in Florida. Doctors are scrambling to find a solution in the face of this epidemic. Burnett School of Biomedical Sciences researcher Dr. Kai McKinstry is working on a flu shot that can help people for life.
Our hope is to develop a vaccine that will work independently of guessing which virus will circulate in a given year.
Every year, scientists from World Health Organizations predict which new strains of influenza could be circulating, then develop a formula for flu shots, but it doesn't always work. The goal is to get a specific type of white blood cells to fight against all strains of flu viruses, but it's difficult to get them to stay in the body for a long time. McKinstry's research goes back 5 years, but believes there is still a long way to go.
I do think we're about a decade away before you see on the market vaccines that are targeting the immune cells that we're working on.
Giraldo is hopeful UCF will have a breakthrough and is willing to take the vaccine once available.
Thing to not get me sick, I would do it.
As flu season continues, doctors recommend to take the seasonal flu shot. Reporting in Orlando, Natalia Hernandez, UCF Nightly News.
As of now, students can get the seasonal flu shot at the UCF Health Center from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. No appointment is needed.
Central Florida will not be getting the second Amazon national headquarters. Orlando is one of 238 cities to bid on the project. This pitch showcases the area's young workforce, but economic leaders say Orlando lacks technology, talent, and available land. Amazon is building a 2.4 million square foot warehouse near the Orlando International Airport. The company plans to bring $5 billion and 50,000 jobs to the chosen destination. Miami is still in consideration, along with 19 other cities.
The League of American Bicyclists named Florida the 15th most bike-friendly state in the U.S. This ranking is 9 spots up from last year. This rating is based on 5 categories and helps states recognize strengths and weaknesses. Nightly News reporter Amanda Shep shows us why UCF is one of the 4 bicycle-friendly universities in Florida.
UCF's Bike and Gold is a repair shop that provides a number of services for free. These services include inflating tires, changing tubes, and adjusting gears. What was once a bike repair tent, Bike and Gold has transformed into a full-fledged business in the student union. Bike and Gold assistant Francisco Poller says he is glad UCF is able to offer students this opportunity.
UCF Bike and Gold is an amazing service that anybody has access to. They should definitely take advantage of it because, you know, biking is just a great thing to do on campus and off campus.
UCF graduate student Emily Linsky regularly utilizes the services of Bike and Gold. Linsky says she enjoys riding her bike on campus as well as around the Orlando area.
I do love to ride my bike. It's just a great way to commute without, leaving a footprint.
Lake Claire is one of 4 spots on campus where students can rent free bikes. The rentals tend to be popular and usually sell out daily.
The UCF Police Department has many programs in place to keep bikers on campus like Linsky safe. Students are able to receive a free bicycle parking decal, which police can track if the bike is stolen. UCF Police Officer Frank Imparato says there are bike lanes throughout campus, and cyclists should obey traffic laws if they plan on using them.
Maintain all the rules of the road, be aware of their surroundings at all times, pay attention to vehicles that are on the road, and be a friendly neighbor when you're sharing the road.
In addition to bicycle-friendly universities in Florida, there are also 26 bike-friendly communities and 64 bike-friendly businesses. Reporting in Orlando, Amanda Shep, UCF Nightly News.
UCF has a number of organizations for students who want to learn more about repairing bicycles. Spokes Council is a bike advocacy club that works with Bike and Gold to teach students about repair techniques. For more information, visit their Facebook page.
Fleet farming has made its way to UCF. turning unused lawn space outside of the Student Union into a local food garden. Reporter Maya Dowdy shows us this new program at UCF.
Some initiatives grow from the seed of an idea. Lee Perry's idea came from noticing the unused green space at UCF.
We're exposing people who otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to farm to urban agriculture.
Fleet farming is a bike-pedaled program that turns people's yards into small farms. Because of Perry's idea, 4 crops have been planted outside of the Student Union with the help of fleet farming staff and volunteers who showed up on Thursday to plant the first seeds.
Through the Central Florida community getting its hands dirty, Fleet farming has harvested over 4,000 pounds of produce.
Volunteer Oscar Baum believes this initiative is good for our future.
Food is going to be like a main issue in today's world, so I think that understanding how to grow it locally and self-sustaining yourself is important.
Scarlett Del Monte is an intern with Fleet Farming and thinks having produce on campus is important.
The students can have a more accessible way to get fresh foods, because most of the food on campus is either really expensive or not fresh.
Perry, a UCF student, thinks that fleet farming on campus is blossoming.
Working with UCF and building upon this partnership really means that we would be able to mobilize the youth of this campus to bring them more towards urban agriculture.
All produce grown will go directly to Knight's Pantry. In Orlando, Maya Dowdy, UCF Nightly News.
You can get the fresh produce from the Fleet Farming Initiative at Knight's Pantry in Farrell Commons. To learn more about the program or how to get involved, visit fleetfarming.com.
Coming up after the break.
See how video games and cancer chemotherapy collide with educational research. Can playing video games actually improve your health?
Plus, learn about the experiences of women in the tech world and how UCF is trying to help. Find out how they advise students to deal with gender discrimination in their industry. The American Cancer Society says that older adults are most likely to have cancer. UCF professor Victoria Lauerzel developed an educational tool that is giving patients a chance at a better quality of life. Dr. Lauerzel created a simulation game to help elderly cancer patients. The game helps to improve symptom management at home. If the character in the game is experiencing mild nausea, the patient can choose how to manage this. Based on the answer, the avatar's nausea will either go away or get worse. Dr. Lauerzel tells UCF what prompted her to create the game.
Most of the education that we have is very generic. Older people are different. They have different learning needs. They have different things that they value. So you typically see older adults not necessarily managing themselves appropriately at home.
The goal is for each patient to practice with their avatar. This will help them learn the effects of their decisions. The game is currently in clinical trials. It is being tested at the UF Health Cancer Center at Orlando Health. Lauerzel says the goal is to study over 100 patients.
Women in STEM are being outnumbered by their male colleagues. The UCF Women's Gender Studies Program and the Women's Executive Council of Central Florida held a panel yesterday. They discussed women working in the tech industry, with the goal of encouraging women to enter the field of technology despite being outnumbered. Laura Lynn, Customer Sales Director from Skillsoft, says bringing awareness to gender inequalities promotes change.
And I think by bringing that awareness to students, you'll have the ability to recognize when things just aren't right. And then once you know, then you can take action to make changes.
A Pew Research Center study says that roughly 3/4 of women in computer jobs have experienced gender-related workplace discrimination. The UCF Women's Gender Studies program plans to host more events like this in the near future.
Research Building 1 is just about ready for business. Faculty members from various colleges and centers will begin moving into the facility this month. The buildings will contain labs, conference rooms, lecture halls, and offices. The tenants will be associated with nanoscience technology, energy research, and the Faculty Cluster Initiative. The facility will add research space to the main campus. It is expected to help create a bridge between technology development and transfer. The building is located between the engineering and Creole buildings.
Coming up after the break.
We'll tell you about a UCF research group that is saving the shorelines. Will the rising tide cause a decrease in Florida tourism?
Plus, Dana will tell us what we can expect for this weekend's forecast. Find out if it's time to put away your sweaters and start preparing for spring. A new research facility is making its way to UCF. The National Center for Integrated Coastal Research, or UCF Coastal, is committed to finding solutions to the rising tides. Changes in sea level are harming beaches and decreasing the number of tourists who make their way to Florida. The Coastal Center's website says more than 3 billion people live within 100 miles of coastline, and these cities generate more than $7 trillion annually. Dr. Graham Worthy, the director for the center, says his research shows that there is a problem.
I think when people start to realize that the beach, yeah, that's way over there on the coast and I may not get there very often, that ultimately it still affects us as well.
Worthy says the problems cannot be solved by a single discipline. The group is made up of 40 faculty members and 12 fields of study, with the goal of finding scientific solutions to social issues. UCF Coastal members hope to increase student engagement with speakers at UCF in May.
You know, Christina, the weather's been really nice.
It has been getting a little colder. Hey Dana, do you think you can tell us if it's going to warm up this weekend?
Fortunately for us, there will be a slight increase in temperatures, but you know, let's take a look at what the weather looks like across the state today. For our highs, we have Jacksonville with 64 degrees, Tallahassee with 68, Tampa with 73, and Orlando right here at 69, and Miami for 72 degrees. Let's take a look at our lows. We have a low in Jacksonville with 52 degrees, Tallahassee with 50 degrees, Tampa 57 degrees, Miami with 60 degrees, and Orlando, our hometown, 54 degrees. Now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. For our 5-day forecast, we start out with great temperatures with no % chance of rain, with highs in 73 degrees and our lows in 72. Now, Sunday and Monday, you might want to pull out the rain jackets and the rain boots because there will be a 70% chance of rain. A highs in 77 degrees, a low in 61 for Sunday. Monday, a high of 68 with a low of 46. Jump back up there with some great temperatures on Tuesdays and Wednesdays with no 0% chance of rain. 61 degrees on Tuesday and 44 degrees on Tuesday as well for the lows, and Wednesday 67 degrees and lows for 53 degrees. That's all that we have for weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Coming up after the break, find out why UCF football player Mike Hughes differs from his other teammates also going into the 2018 draft.
Plus, UCF men's basketball is dealing with their 3rd injury of the season. Find out why one of the players is out for the year.
And find out what Hall of Fame one UCF alumna got inducted into.
Good afternoon, Knights. I'm Princess Jeanne with your sports for today. The UCF football team has a total of 112 awards. This includes 25 All-Americans, 14 freshman All-Americans, 21 Pro Bowlers, 16 Super Bowl champions, and 36 NFL draft picks. 7 UCF football players are making their way to the 2018 NFL Draft. Check out how 6 of the players were selected to play in a bowl after competing in the Peach Bowl. Wide receiver Traquan Smith, linebacker Shaquem Griffin, and tight end Jordan Akins are selected to play in the Reese's Super Bowl. You can watch the game this Saturday at 1:30 p.m. on NFL Network. Tony Garrard played in the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl this past Sunday. He was named as a top performer for the 2018 NFL Draft Watch. Tight end Jordan Franks played in the Tropical Bowl last week, and tackle Aaron Evans and defensive lineman Jemias Pittman were both selected to play in the East-West Shrine game. Due to Evans' injury and Pittman feeling sick, both could not participate. UCF has one additional player who is going into the 2018 NFL Draft, cornerback Mike Hughes. Hughes is a junior at the university and has decided that he will forego his senior season to go into the draft. Hughes is known for his 95-yard touchdown from a kickoff this season versus the university's rival, the USF Bulls. He is also known for his punts and kickoffs. Hughes joined the Knights after transferring from Garden City Community College and has been with the Knights for 1 season. It is predicted that Hughes will be a second-round pick for the NFL. The UCF men's basketball team's star center Taco Fall is out for the entire season due to an injury. Fall's last game of the season was played last Tuesday. He played for 24 minutes against the Cincinnati Bearcats. The Knights lost 49-38. 7'6" center Taco Fall injured his shoulder during a practice this past summer. Months later, he is still dealing with the injury. A source close to the athlete says he will undergo surgery the 31st of this month. Head coach Johnny Dawkins told UCF in a press release that UCF's top priority is to maintain the well-being of their student athletes. He hopes to get Taco back to 100%. A former Knight has been named the National Collegiate Flag Football Hall of Fame. UCF alumna Tatiane Dearushu is the 3rd Knight in 7 years to be inducted into the Hall. You are looking at her highlight mixtape taken by UCF women's flag football head coach Brandon Baruti on GoPro. Dearushu is a 3-time All-American. She says the team's success made this recognition better.
To be a part of it and know that I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to help my team succeed, and to get the recognition is pretty cool because I really did give it my all every single play, every single game.
Oh, there it is. Sorry, that's why.
That's all the time we have for sports. Back to you, Jimmy and Christina.
Thank you, Princess. That's our time for right now. Thank you for joining us, and remember you can always keep up with us during the week on our website, nightlynews.ucf.edu.
And if you got a story idea you want us to know about, send it our way. You can email us at nightlynews@ucf.edu. Thanks for watching and have a good day.